Hello, guys. How are you all? So, welcome back to Cracking IELTS 9.0. So, today I am back with a new passage. As you can see, the passage says the Kakapo. This is Cambridge 20, Test 1, passage number 1. So, let us see what we have today. And on the left hand side, you have the whole passage, and on the right hand side, you have the questions here. So, the first set of questions is true, false, not given. And the next set of questions is fill in the blanks with one word and or a number. Okay. So we are going to have a look at all of these questions. Okay. And we are going to have a look at different strategies that we have to answer all these type of questions. Okay. So please follow the video carefully till the end because I'll be giving a lot of tips and tricks on how to answer these type of questions in reading. Okay. I hope you guys have followed my previous videos as well. So yeah, without wasting any time, let's dive into the passage. Okay. So coming to the first strategy, here we have true, false, and not given, right? So we have to write true if the statement agrees with the information. Okay. And we will write false if the statement contradicts the information, and then we'll write not given if there is no information on this. Okay, so that's what we have to keep in mind. So my first strategy is we will read the questions first, we will underline the keywords, and we will search for those keywords in the passage. Okay, so that we can complete this passage quickly and easily, right? So, what is the first question here? There are other parrots that share the kakapo's inability to fly. Okay, so here we understood that kakapo it cannot fly. Okay, and he also says there are some other parrots that cannot fly like the kakapo. So we have to keep this thing in mind that other parrots inability to fly, these things is important. So we have to read for that. Whenever we are reading the passages, we have to have this in our mind. Okay. So back of the mind, we are looking for something related to flying. Okay. Right. Now let us read this paragraph. The kakapo, also known as the owl parrot, is a large forest dwelling bird with a pale owl like face. Okay. Up to 64 centimeters in length, it has predominantly yellow green feathers. Okay. So that's what is given here. Now, a forward facing eyes, a large gray beak, large blue feet, and relatively short wings and tail. So it is the world's only flightless parrot and is also possibly one of the world's longest living birds with a reported lifespan of up to 100 years. Okay. So what did we read about flying here? Yes, look at the last sentence, guys. It is the world's only flightless parrot. Flightless means which cannot fly. Here he says it is the only parrot which cannot fly in the whole world. But what is the question here? He says there are some other parrots that share the kakapo's inability to fly. So what is the answer? I think you got the answer, right? Here he says this is the only parrot, but in the question he says there are some other parrots which cannot fly. No, sir. This is the only world's only flightless parrot. So what is the answer, guys? So first one should be clearly, it should be false, right? Okay, let me change this one. Yeah. So yeah. Next, adult kakapo produce chicks every year. Okay. He says they produce chicks every year. So we have to look for something related to reproduction, chicks, and all this. Okay. So let us read further. Next, kakapo are solitary birds and tend to occupy the same home range for many years. They forage on ground and climb high into trees. They often leap from trees and flap their wings, but at best manage a controlled descent to the ground. They are entirely vegetarian, while their diet, including leaves, roots, and bark of trees, as well as bulbs and fern fronds. Okay. So here he did not talk about a reproduction, anything like that, right? So we have to continue reading here. Next, Kakapo breed in summer and autumn, but only in years when food is plentiful. Okay, this is the one thing we have to make note of it. Okay. Now, males play no part in incubation or chick rearing. Females alone incubate eggs and feed the chicks. The 1 to 4 eggs are laid in soil which is repeatedly turned over before and during incubation. The female kakapo has to spend long periods away from the nest searching for food, which leaves the unattended eggs and chicks particularly vulnerable to predators. Okay. So, did you find anything related to reproduction? I think you guys have found the answer as well. Here he says adult kakapo produce chicks every year. This is the main keyword, guys. Every year. This is what you have to understand. Now, what is given in the passage? Here he says Kakapo breed in summer and autumn, but only in years when food is plentiful. Okay, so here it says only in which year, sir? In whenever food is plentiful. Yes. Here he says every year. No, sir. This is contradicting. Here he says they produce chicks every year, but here he says they only breed in years when food is plentiful. Okay. For example, food is not available, then they don't breed that year. Okay. So what is it? This is clearly contradicting with what is given in the passage. Hence, what is our answer, guys? It should be false, right? Yes, it is false. Okay, done. Good. We got two answers here. Next one. Adult male kakapo bring food back to nesting females. Okay. So here he says a male brings food while the female is nesting. Okay, this is what he said. But what did we read in this paragraph? See, male plays no part in incubation or chick rearing. Females alone incubate eggs and feed the chicks. So whose duty is it? Female, they incubate the eggs and also they feed the chicks. Feeding means bringing the food. Okay, so 1 to 4 eggs are laid in the soil. So the female kakapo has to spend long periods away from the nest searching for food. Yes, this is what he's talking about, which leaves the eggs and chicks vulnerable to predators. Yes. Here he says male brings the food back while the female is nesting. No, sir. What is given in the passage? Female alone incubates and it feeds the chicks. See this line. The female kakapo has to spend long periods away from the nest searching for food and they bring the food. So female brings the food, not the male. So this is also again contradictory. So what is the answer, guys? It should be false. Yes. We're getting the answers. So all three are false so far, right? Let us see the next one. The Polynesian rat was a greater threat to Kakapo than Polynesian settlers. Okay, now here is he is comparing in the question. What is this comparison? He is comparing the Polynesian rat with the settlers. Okay, he says rat is a greater threat than the settlers to the Kakapo. Now, yes. Now we have to look for that comparison in the paragraph. Okay. Now let's read the next paragraph. Before humans arrived, kakapo were common throughout New Zealand's forest. However, this all changed with the arrival of first Polynesian settlers about 700 years ago. Okay, for the early settlers, the flightless kakapo was easy prey. Okay, they ate its meat and used its feathers to make soft cloaks. Cloaks means it's a type of clothing. Okay, which them came the Polynesian dog and rat, which also preyed on kakapo. By the time European colonizers arrived in the early 1800s, kakapo has become confined to the central North Island and forested parts of the South Island. The fall in kakapo numbers was accelerated by European colonization. A great deal of habitat was lost through forest clearance and introduced species such as deer depleted the remaining forest for food. Other predators such as rats, storks, and two more species of rats were also introduced. The kakapo were in serious trouble. Okay. Now this is what. Okay. Now, what does he say in the question? He's comparing the Polynesian rat with the Polynesian settlers. Okay. Now we have to look for that comparison. Okay, so arrival of first Polynesian settlers about 700 years ago. Early settlers, the flightless kakapo was a easy prey. Means they used to catch the kakapo and eat it. They eat the meat and they made use the feathers to make soft cloaks. Okay, then came the Polynesian dog and rat, which also preyed on kakapo. Okay, so settlers also preyed on the kakapo, and at the same time, rats also they preyed on kakapo. Then came the European colonizers. So, okay. Now, who is a greater threat, Polynesian rat or a Polynesian settler? What is given in the paragraph? Do you think we can answer this with whatever is given in the paragraph? I think there is no sufficient information because here in the paragraph, he said that both settlers and rats they preyed on Kakapo, but who is a greater threat that is not given. Okay, question is about who is the greater threat, is the rat or the settlers? Okay, but nothing is given in the paragraph. So what is the answer, guys? We have one answer. What is that? It's not given. Okay, because it's not clear who is a greater threat, whether the rats or the settlers. So obviously we cannot answer that. Right. We look to the next question then. Now, Kakapo were transferred from Rakiura Island to other locations because they were at risk from feral cats. Okay, there are a lot of keywords here. There are Rakiura Island and feral cats. So yeah, these are the keywords and we have to read till we find these. Okay. Now, in 1894, the New Zealand government launched its first attempt to save the kakapo. Conservationist Richard Henry led an effort to relocate several hundred of the birds to predator-free Resolution Island in Fiordland. Unfortunately, the island didn't remain predator-free. Stoats arrived within 6 years, eventually destroying the kakapo population. By the mid 1900s, the kakapo was practically a lost species. Only a few clung to life in the most isolated parts of New Zealand. Okay. Next, from 1949 to 73, the newly formed New Zealand Wildlife Service made over 60 expeditions to find kakapo, focusing mainly on Fiordland. Six were caught, but there were no females amongst them, and all but one died within a few months of captivity. Okay. Next, 1974, a new initiative was launched, and by 1977, 18 more kakapo were found in Fiordland. However, there were still no females. In 1977, a large population of males was spotted in Rakiura. Yes, this is the island we are looking for. Rakiura, a large island free from stoats, ferrets, and weasels. There were about 200 individuals, and in 1980 it was confirmed females were also present. These birds have been the foundation of all subsequent work in managing the species. Okay. Now, unfortunately, predation by feral cats on Rakiura Island. Yes, this is what we are looking for. Feral cats on Rakiura Island led to the rapid decline in kakapo numbers. As a result, during 1980 to 97, the surviving population was evacuated to three island sanctuaries: Codfish Island, Maud Island, and Little Barrier Island. However, breeding success was hard to achieve. Rats were found to be a major predator of kakapo chicks, and an insufficient number of chicks survived to offset adult mortality. By 1995, although at least 12 chicks had been produced on the island, only three had survived. The kakapo population had dropped to 51 birds. Okay. Now, because of these rats, the population has dropped. That's what he's saying here. So, what is the question, guys? Kakapo were transferred from Rakiura Island to other locations because they were at risk from feral cats. So, is it true or false or not given? What do you think? I think we got the answer, right? See, predation by feral cats on Rakiura Island led to the rapid decline in numbers. So, as a result, the surviving population was evacuated to three island sanctuaries. Yes. Means they were transferred to some other locations because they were at a risk from feral cats. Yes, this is exactly what is given in the paragraph, right? So what is our answer, guys? Our answer is true. Okay. So yeah, we are getting the answers one by one. Next, what is the one? One a recovery plan initiative that helped increase the Kakapo population size was caring for struggling young birds. He's talking about struggling young birds now. Let us see. Okay, this is the keyword here. And also there is some recovery plan initiative. So we'll read it in the next paragraph. The critical situation prompted an urgent review of Kakapo management in New Zealand. In 1996, a new recovery plan was launched together with a specialist advisory group called Kakapo Scientific and Technical Advisory Committee and higher amount of funding. Okay. Now, renewed steps were taken to control predators on the three islands. Cats were eradicated from Little Barrier Island in 1980 and possums were eradicated from codfish by 1986. However, the population did not start to increase until rats were removed from all three islands and the birds were more intensively managed. This involved moving the birds between islands, supplementary feeding of adults, and rescuing and hand raising any failing chicks. Okay, I think we got the keyword here. See, guys? See, struggling young birds. Okay, and failing chicks. Are these two synonyms, guys? Yes, these two, they are exactly synonyms. Failing chicks and struggling young birds. So, yeah, what is the answer? So one recovery initiative that helped to increase the population was caring for the young birds. So has the population increased? See, here it says population did not start to increase until rats were removed from all three islands and birds were more extensively managed. So this involved moving the birds between islands, supplementary feeding of the adults, and rescuing and hand raising any failing chicks. Yes, so they have hand raised these chicks. Yeah, so this is one initiative which has helped to increase the population. Here he says population did not increase until rats were removed. It means once the rats were removed, the population have started to increase. Yes, so this is what we have to understand. And yeah, so the answer for this one would be true as well. Okay, so yeah, that is the answer, guys. Let us move to the next set of questions, that is fill in the blanks. Okay. So yeah, here we have a note. We can write one word and or a number. Okay. It means we can write one word or we can write one number or we can write one word and a number. Okay. So yeah, there are three possibilities here. So next, what is the question? A type of parrot. Diet consists of fern fronds, various parts of a tree, and dash. Okay. Now we read about the diet in the beginning, right? In the beginning paragraph, somewhere we have read about the diet. Where was that? First paragraph was about this. Second paragraph leaves entire vegetarian diet. It's here, okay? So look at the last sentence, guys. Second paragraph. They are entirely vegetarian with their diet, including the leaves, roots, and bark of trees, as well as bulbs and fern fronds. Okay. Now he gave fern fronds here. This is done. Okay. This cannot be the answer. This he already gave. Various parts of a tree. What are various parts of a tree? Leaves is a part, roots and bark of trees. Okay, so these three are various parts of a tree and a dash. Only one is left. What is that? Bulbs. As well as bulbs. Yes. So this should be our answer, guys. So here he says bulbs. Yes. So next. Nests are created in dash where eggs are laid. Okay. He's talking about something where eggs are laid. So where are those eggs laid? I think we have read it. Nests are created where? Somewhere. Let us read the next one. Next paragraph. Kakapo breed in summer and autumn, but only in years when food is plentiful Males play no part in the incubation or chick rearing. Females alone incubate eggs and feed the chicks. Okay, done. The eggs are laid in soil. Okay, so he says where eggs are laid. Eggs are laid in soil, which is repeatedly turned over before and during incubation. Yes, sir. So where the eggs are laid? Nests are created in soil where the eggs are laid. So soil is our answer. Okay, so this is a direct answer. It's very easy and easy to pick up, right? Next, arrival of Polynesian settlers. Okay, he's talking about Polynesian settlers now. Okay, I think we read about that in the next paragraph. Here it is, Polynesian settlers, right? Now let us read. The dash of the Kakapo were used to make clothes. Okay, we read about this already, right? So, arrival of first Polynesian settlers about 700 years ago. For the early settlers, the flightless kakapo was an easy prey. They ate its meat and used its feathers to make soft cloaks. Yes, cloaks means it's a woolly, it's like a sweater. Okay, so this is the cloth he's talking about. So they used its feathers to make cloaks. That is our answer, right? So they used to make clothes from feathers. GRS, yes. So that is our answer, guys. And let us move to the next one. So here we have to just underline the keywords and search for that in the paragraph. That's the same strategy, okay? Now he's talking about arrival of European colonizers. I think we read about them in the same paragraph, right? Yeah. So shall I use something else to highlight? Let me use some other color. So this one, so yeah, European colonizers. This is what he says. Okay. Now, dash were an animal which they introduced that ate the Kakapo's food sources. Okay, so these guys they introduced some animal which ate the Kakapo's food source. What is that? Okay, so let us read this one. By the time European settlers arrived in the early 1800s, Kakapo had become confined to the central North Island and forested parts of South Island. Okay, the fall in Kakapo numbers was accelerated by European colonization. A great deal of habitat was lost through forest clearance and introduced species such as deer. Okay, so they introduced what? Deer, depleting the remaining forest of food. Okay. So deer they ate the kakapo's food. That's it. And other predators such as cats, these they were also introduced. But especially deer deplete the remaining forest of food. Yes. So deer were an animal which were introduced that ate the kakapo's food sources. Yes, sir. That is our answer. So deer is my answer. Okay. Protecting Kakapo. Richard Henry, a conservationist, tried to protect the Kakapo. So Richard Henry, we read about this guy. Where did we read it? He was here, right? Richard Henry. Yes. Okay. Yes, Richard Henry. Now, what is that? The question is, a definite sighting of female kakapo on Rockura Island was reported in the year. Okay, so he's asking the year here, guys. So we have to write a number. So one word or a number is justified here. So yeah, we have to write a number. In which year that the definite sighting of female kakapo was reported. Okay, let us read. Let us read. I think which year, where are these years? This by mid 1900, Kakapo was practically lost species. Okay, okay, from 1949 to 73, they made over 60 expeditions to find the Kakapo, focusing mainly on Fiordland. Six were caught, but there were no females. Here he's talking about female Kakapo. So no, this is not the answer. And by 1977, 18 more kakapo were found. However, there were still no females. Okay. Then 1977, males were spotted in Rakiora, large island free from these. Okay, there are about 200 individuals. And in 1980, it was confirmed females were also present. Yes. So what is the answer, guys? I think I got the answer. Did you get it? He says in 1980, it is confirmed. Females were also present. Confirmed means definite sighting of a female kakapo was reported in which year, sir? In 1980. Yes. So 1980 should be our answer. Okay, good. So far, so good. Let us move to the next one. A recovery plan included an increase in dash. There is some increase in something. What is that? He's talking about the recovery plan. Okay, so we read about the recovery plan in the next paragraph, I guess. Yes, here is our recovery plan. Okay, in 1996, a new recovery plan was launched together with a specialist group called Kakapo Scientific and Technical Advisory Committee and a higher amount of funding. Okay. Renewed steps were taken to control predators on the three islands. Okay. See what is the keyword here, guys? They included an increase in something. Increase means higher amount, right? Higher amount, increase. They are like synonyms, right? Okay, so higher amount of funding was given. So the recovery plan gave them a increase in funding. Yes, that was an easy one too. I think this whole paragraph is a bit easy. Since it is the first paragraph, okay, they gave easy questions, I guess. Next, a recovery goal of a current goal, he's talking about a current goal of recovery plan is to maintain the involvement of Dash in Kakapo protection. So there is some involvement of whom? That is the question. Involvement. We have to look for some synonyms for involvement here. Okay. Let us read further now. After the first 5 years of the recovery plan, the population was on target. By 2000, five new females had been produced, and the total population had grown to 62 birds. Good. So from 51, the population increased to 62 then. Next, for the first time, there was a cautious optimism for the future of Kakapo, and by June 2020, a total of 210 birds were recorded. Good, that's a very good improvement. Then, today, Kakapo management continues to be guided by the Kakapo recovery plan. Okay, its key goals are minimize the loss of genetic diversity in Kakapo population, restore and maintain the sufficient habitat to accommodate the expected increase in Kakapo population, and ensure stakeholders continue to be fully engaged in the preservation of the species. Okay, what do you mean by engaged? Fully engaged means involvement, right? That is the keyword you have to match here. Fully engaged means involvement of the kakapo protection, means in the preservation of the species. Yes, preservation means protection. These two are matching. So current goal means these goals, key goals. Today, he says today. Today means current. Okay, is to maintain the involvement of whom? To ensure stakeholders continue to be engaged in the preservation of species. Stakeholders. Yes, that is the right answer. Okay, he's talking about stakeholders should be there. They should be fully involved in the protection of the kakapo. Yes, so that is our answer, guys. I think, yeah. So I think that is the end of this paragraph. And I would say this paragraph was pretty easy compared to the other paragraphs. And this should not take more than 15 minutes for you to answer this paragraph, okay? Because this is very easy, first paragraph. And you can give some extra time to the next paragraph that are coming in the test, okay? So try to see, there will be three paragraphs, right? One, two, and three. If you can do the first paragraph within 15 minutes, then you can give more time to the second and third paragraphs because the difficulty level will be increasing, guys. Okay. First paragraph would be easy, second one would be like a medium level difficulty, and third one, the difficulty level will increase a bit. Okay. So try to do the first and second paragraphs as quickly as possible so that you can concentrate on the third paragraph. Okay. Right. So if you like my explanation, please like, share, and subscribe my video. Please, I need more and more subscribers to do as many videos as possible. So I'll try my best to give you more and more passages on reading, and I'll try to make some videos on writing as well, so that it will be easy for you guys to take the IELTS test. So yeah, that is the end of today's video. So let us meet again in some other video. Till then, goodbye and have a good day.